So now that we have the graph of the monopoly, what we want to be able to do is solve this practice problem number 37 of finding profit. And so remember, what do we have in order to be able to find profit? We have a formula specifically for graphs. And so this formula or equation remember is price minus average total cost times the quantity. And so how do we go or use this to try and find profit? And what we can do is start with trying to find Q. So remember, how do we find Q? Okay, that's the choice of the firm. Okay, it's according to it wanting to maximize profits. So remember, that comes from this profit maximization condition that applies regardless of market structure, which is MR is equal to MC. Okay, and so applying that here, where do we actually find the quantity? Well, it's basically where these two curves cross each other. Okay, now as an aside here, albeit a very important one, notice that I have labeled on the axis large Q, which represents the quantity of the market. Whereas here I'm indicating a small q, which is the quantity of the firm. Now, is this consistent or not? Well, in fact, it is, because remember, what are we looking at? We're looking at a monopoly. Remember, a monopoly is, by definition, when there's only one firm. So if there's only one firm, the firm is the market. And so what is the relationship between small q and Q, large Q? It's that they're equal. Okay, so we found the quantity. And so what we need to do is to find the price and the average total cost. So notice, in terms of the four curves that we've used 2 to find the quantity. So how do we find average total cost? Well, we just use the average total cost curve. Okay, where it hits this particular quantity, that tells us what the average total cost is. Okay, and then how do we find price? Well, there's only one curve left. It's the demand, and that's what we use to find the price. Okay. All right, so now we see we basically have an area, and that is the profit. Okay, basically this rectangle here. All right, and so as for B, the question is this the short run, is this the long run, or is it both? Okay, and the answer is that it is both. Okay, the question is why? Okay, remember the difference is, or you normally would think, well, maybe it should be only the short run, right? Profit should disappear. But that only applied for the competitive firm. Here, we don't have this issue about the difference in a firm making profits in the short run and then not being able to in the long run, because we don't have what? We don't have free entry and exit. Okay, so if a firm is making positive profits in the short run, it can make the same amount in the long run because of barriers to entry.